Okay. Right use of power. Social architecture shape the flows and management of power, and with it, its dilemmas. How are decisions made? How are resources developed and deployed? How are conflicts or disagreements handled? How are violations of forms, norms, principles, precepts, ethics handled? Who decides, and who is at the table when decisions are made? How are newcomers introduced and instructed in the power dynamics and ethics of a community?
Every spiritual community must address the dynamics of power. Every organization has power dynamics, of course, but in spiritual communities, this subject is even more fraught and more urgent. Often, spiritual traditions promote values of humility, submission, and obedience. There is a higher power in some traditions to which everyone surrenders, and therefore there is a denial of power and a pretense that one does not have power, even when that is clearly the case, in roles such as minister or priest or choir director.
In Zen communities, there's
Wait, it would be Jason.
Okay. Sorry, I'm new.
That's okay.
In Zen communities, there is not such a belief in God or a higher power, but often there is a hierarchy of roles that convey role power and structure power dynamics. In formal Japanese temples, there is a role, Ino, whose main function is to enforce the forms and rules. There is an abbot, there are senior priests, the tenzo, who rules the kitchen and whose power is said to rival the abbot's, and so on. Still, participants in traditional Zen centers do not discuss power and do not seem to address the power dynamics of the Sangha. So, as in most spiritual communities that value humility and surrender, power issues go underground and become toxic. They come to the surface only when there are problems.
Now, Kim.
Okay, I guess you mean to say that in most spiritual communities.
I changed that to go underground and can become toxic.
Yeah, okay. The power dynamics themselves are not the real problem. Rather, it is that they are not openly. I heard something. Rather, it is that they are not openly discussed and skillfully addressed that creates problems. The fact that there are missteps, even abuses of power, is inevitable. The Sangha can be well prepared to meet them with wisdom and compassion.
Okay, the training and right use of power is the method we use at Appamada. Flint introduced me to this program when I was in training for ordination. I immediately saw the value and importance of this training and introduced it to the Sangha, then went on to become a right use of power trainer myself. It has been such a rewarding experience working with Cedar and with Sanghas all over the country to share these rich teachings.
Milan, are you reading?
We kind of skipped me.
It's Melissa.
And Melissa. Okay.
Melissa next, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Supposed to be after Kim? Okay. What is the right use of power? The right use of power is a training program in the wise, skillful, compassionate, and ethical use of power. It was created and developed by Cedar Barstow starting in the 1970s when Cedar was a Hakami therapist and trainer.
Defining key terms from Right Use of Power by Cedar Barstow. Here is how Cedar has defined some key terms in ways that open them for me. Ethics. 1. Ethics. A set of values, attitudes, and skills intended to have benevolent effects when applied through the guidelines of the precepts, decision-making process, and the practice of compassion. Ethics are relational. They create harmonious and equitable relationships that sorry, and social structures.
Okay, I see that we need spaces after these numbers, so don't worry about that.
Okay. You want me to take it from the top here?
Well, also, it skipped a space. The guidelines of the precepts, you see that?
Yeah, I fixed that.
Okay.
So it's not you yet, Alice. It's me.
Oh, okay.
Power, the ability to act or have an effect. Influence is how we interact with others to make changes and have an effect. There are three kinds of power. Personal power is the generative capacity to use our gifts and make real our intentions. Role power is the increased power that accompanies a professional role. This creates what is called the power differential. Status power is the power that we have as a consequence of some special marker. For example, being college educated, or married, or Native American. Status power has different weight in different circumstances. In one venue, it might give you an advantage. In a different venue, it might actually be a liability.
Compassion, resonating concern, an ability to see and respond in a caring way to the connection between everyone and everything. Can you scroll up a little bit?
Oh yeah, hold on here.
There we go.
We have
Right
a
use of power.
weird space here, hold on.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right use of power, the use of personal and role power and influence to prevent, reduce, resolve, and repair harm. And in addition, to balance strength with heart, improve relationships and situations, and promote well-being and the common good.
okay, so I fixed that line spacing. Let me move
Did
this.
did you want to put a space before the and capitalize the?
Oh, right. Let's see, she has these all in lowercase.
Oh, okay. I wasn't.
Yeah,
Well,
this is from her book, so I don't know,
Hmm.
it's not the way I would do it, so I don't know whether I should change it or not.
Well, actually,
well, the
five and six are not.
yeah.
What do you mean, five?
They're not lowercase.
Yeah, I know, it's not consistent, so
Okay.
we have to decide. Maybe we can make them all capital and then, hold on. We'll do that quickly now. Well,
Yeah, I think that's more of an editing situation than
yeah,
um, than
yeah.
something copied.
Uh, I'm not happy with what this is doing here because it's making everything boldface. No, that's not what you are. You're not boldface. Don't annoy me like this. Okay. T. Okay. Oh, another thing that decided to boldface itself. So annoying. Oh, you guys are bold. Okay. So misbehaving. Sometimes these things do things you don't expect. Okay. This should be, oh yeah, okay. So this is a separate section, which starts with foundational values.
Is it a
And
separate section from starting with
Yeah, it's another list. It's a different list. So this
from
is
the same book?
This is a list of values. That was a list of definitions. This is a
Okay.
list of values.
And are these directly taken from the book?
Yes.
Okay.
And I see we're still having these little weird spacing things. Okay. Yeah, okay.
All right, we ready?
Uh-huh.
All right, foundational values. Framing ethics and power in a comprehensive way. These values form the foundation for this approach. We could spend an entire day just exploring these terms. 1. Aspirational. We begin by acknowledging our intention and capacity for magnificence in the use of our personal and professional power. This activates the social engagement system, the third nervous system, which has the capacity for self-correcting, complex problem solving, using feedback, managing a large range of emotion, and staying in a relationship even in conflict. When overwhelmed by fear, shame, or anger, we tend to disengage from this evolved system and default to older fight, flight, or freeze responses.
2. Relational. As mentioned earlier, ethics and power are all about how we treat others by our attitudes and our behavior. Relationships are what make ethics necessary. Being sensitive to our impact and staying connected, even in conflict, is, however, the core of ethical relationships. Relationships are most effective and grievances are avoided when we are able to resolve problems and repair connections. This process actually strengthens and deepens relationships.
3. Heartfelt. Right use of power is the heart of ethics. It is what keeps ethics from degenerating into technicalities, reactive and rigid policymaking, and hair splitting. Empathy and compassion can inform often complex and challenging situations so that everyone in the situation can be empowered to self-correct and grow into more sensitivity. The development of compassion is the salve for wounds and separation and the inspiration for those who are in positions of power and trust. We can source our power with heart.
Operational. We all make mistakes. Our impact is often different than our intention. We carry projection from past hurts and wounds. There are difficulties that arise over time in the course of all meaningful relationships. Often we automatically and reflexively uh, ink.
Link.
Sorry, link.
Link, yeah.
My eyes blinked and I lost place. Link present conflict with the trauma with past trauma. When conflict triggers old trauma, we may disengage from relationships, disassociate, lose touch with our resources, and or blame others.
Yeah, I'm fixing these line breaks as we go. Something's weird about them, but. And you have a little bit more, one more sentence here up at the top.
All I can see is 6 experimental.
You don't see by approaching ethics and power.
Okay, no, because I think if you scroll up, there we go. By approaching ethics and power reparationally, we can put our attention towards skillful resolution, relationship repair, and self-correction.
I am just listening tonight, so.
Okay. Okay, so then it would be me. 5, proactive. Responses to issues of power and ethics can be unconscious and history-based, littered with automatic behavior and outdated beliefs. By actively exploring our ethical edges, taking care of ourselves, asking for and using feedback constructively, we become more sensitive. We can increase our skills, change ineffective habits, and use what we've learned from our history to grow.
Experiential. The training in right use of power is not through talks like this one, but through experiential experiments and exercises. Having a felt sense, there's of there,
Yeah.
of the impact of the power differential is the key to understanding ethical issues. Ethics, power dynamics, and compassion are best embodied through personal, practical, and engaging experience, which is, of course, the heart of our Zen training.
So I just put a little thing in parentheses after this, like this is drawn from Right Use of Power, the book, but the rest of it is from me. So I wanted to.
Which parts of the rest of the chapter now?
Yeah, the rest of this section is from me. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. So we're right here.
Is it your turn? No, I'm sorry. I'll hush.
I think it's Jason's turn, if
I think
Jason's still with us. Oh, no, it's Ed's turn.
It's my
Ed's turn.
turn, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Please understand that denial or suppression of our personal role and status power is actually an abuse of power. As I mentioned, this is particularly treacherous in spiritual communities. A high value is placed on humility and no self. Ambition and lust for power are publicly frowned on, which only means that they then tend to go underground or create vacuums of mature leadership, responsibility, and guidance. Instead, there is a tendency for gossip, infighting, undermining, manipulation, and havoc. Should I do one more?
Sure.
Every time we form a council, we take up right use of power training first. Often people who have joined a council do not realize that they will be viewed differently by other Sangha members, imbued with power they do not realize they have. So it is important for there to be a culture where power dynamics can be discussed openly, yeah, and skillfully without shame or blame.
Right use of power is the best training I've found for teaching us the skills to do this in support of each other. It was the first experience I had of understanding power as not necessarily oppressive and unwanted, coercive, and even violent. In right use of power, we learn that power can be responsible, caring, supporting, and enabling when skillfully used in the service of our aspiration and vow. This depends on something.
This depends.
This depends on acknowledging our power and learning how to use it wisely and compassionately. Interactive exercises help bond the community and create shared language, concepts, a deeper understanding of power and its dynamics. The training helps the community be comfortable and open talking about power, offering and requesting feedback.
My reflections on right use of power. Power is the capacity to have an influence, affect a change, or transform situations. A common misunderstanding associates power with unwanted oppression, control, and violence. However, power can also be expressed as wanted and enabling responsibility, guidance, support, empowerment of others, and care. It can reflect core values of compassion, wisdom, clarity, and connection. Yeah, I didn't realize or forgot that the normal connotation is kind of negative with the word power.
Yeah, when I do workshops, I ask people for a word that describes power, that they would use to describe power. And then I list them, positive and negative terms. And it's always like about 3 positive terms and 45 negative terms. Yeah.
Like any form of energy, power can be used skillfully, consciously, responsibly, and with care or carelessly, selfishly, and destructively. We are often ignorant of our own power or unskillful in its use because we have not been taught how to understand and use it appropriately. We are also suffering from experiencing or witnessing abuses of power, large and small. This makes us afraid of power or alternately uh, grasping of it, alternately grasping of it.
We can learn how to use our power skillfully and appropriately. We can learn to meet the power of others skillfully and appropriately. In situations involving power dynamics, we can cultivate more humane and intelligent power relations in the service of the larger good. Let me move this up a little bit.
Our clarity around the use of power is often complicated by special, overwhelming mind states, including non-ordinary states and shame. I would add terror and scarcity to this list of overwhelming mind states. These mind states prevent us from accessing either our own wisdom and self-care or the supportive resources around us. They create barriers to connection and care, essential to this work.
Mistakes in the use.
Wait.
Oh, there we go.
Sorry.
And care and cloud our judgment. We all need skillful, compassionate help from others when we are captured by such mind states.
Okay. Feedback is a critical component of learning to use our power skillfully and with heart. Without it, we are generally blind to our impact on others. We need to learn how to request feedback, how to integrate it, and how to provide it for others in ways that nourish and support their learning. The capacity to deal appropriately with shame is essential to this work. Mistakes in the use of our power or our response to others' power are inevitable and unavoidable. Fortunately, these mistakes can afford an opportunity for us to deepen trust in the relationship and foster honesty and intimacy through skillful repair. Our mistakes are humbling, but the skills for repair can be learned.
Our lives as social beings mean that the dynamics of power will always be part of our human experience. We have the power of creativity, courage, compassion, connection, care, wisdom, clarity, energy, generosity, vision, and their opposites. The unskillful uses of power have been abundantly demonstrated over millennia with other species, and with our planet. We are in our infancy in studying the appropriate uses of our human power. We have the capacity to evolve more mature and wise uses of power that support all life on the planet and provide care for all beings. But time is running out. We need to learn faster and more comprehensively how to use our human power in globally beneficial ways. We are the seeds of this evolution.
In this turbulent time, it seems to me that the teaching of the right use of power is more urgent than ever, and the need is evident in so many arenas of our lives. I hope you will have the opportunity to experience this wonderful training. Cedar Barstow, founder and author, Right Use of Power, The Heart of Ethics. Learn more, rightuseofpower.org.
Okay. Does that seem clear?
Yes.
I mean, that section seems clear. Okay, I'm just trying to give people a kind of introduction to these wonderful things that we've woven into our teaching.
Yeah, I think a person would want to learn more.
Yeah, I hope so. Hope so. Okay. Were you the last one to read?
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
Melissa.
Yes. Internal family systems. By now, many people are familiar with internal family systems, IFS, partially due to the popularity of the films Inside Out and Inside Out 2. Although IFS itself is not mentioned in the films, internal family systems is now well known as a psychotherapeutic approach developed by Richard Schwartz in the 1980s. It is described on the website of the IFS Institute this way, quote, IFS is a transformational tool that conceives of every human being as a system of protective and wounded inner parts, led by a core self. We believe the mind is naturally multiple, and that it is a good thing. Just like members of a family, inner parts are forced from their valuable states into extreme roles within us. Self is in everyone. It can't be damaged. It knows how to heal.
IFS is frequently used as an evidence-based psychotherapy, helping people heal by accessing and healing their protective and wounded inner parts. IFS creates inner and outer connectedness by helping people first access their self and from that core come to understand and heal their parts. I will say that it's been a constant kind of conversation that I've had with IFS with Dick and with other people in IFS, that we're really talking about non-self. We're talking about a boundaryless self. We're talking about Buddha nature or Buddha mind, and it's dangerous to label it as self, because then people tend to think it's another part, which it's not. So it's not a part. Anyway.
Peg, I'm wondering, I'm looking at the first paragraph in this section. Did you want to put inside out and inside out too in italics to set them off as movie titles?
Yeah, that's probably best.
Okay.
I think I was undecided whether to put them in quotes or to make them italics, but I think italics is best.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And let's see. Okay. Principles of IFS. Multiplicity. It is the nature of the mind to be subdivided into an indeterminate number of subpersonalities. Self-leadership. Everyone has a self. Self can and should lead the individual's internal system. Positive intentions. The non-extreme intention of each part is something positive for the individual. There are no bad parts, and the goal of the work is not to eliminate parts, but instead to help them find their non-extreme role. Systems. As we develop our parts, maybe a comma after develop, as we develop, our parts develop and form a complex system of interactions among themselves. Systems theory can be applied to the internal system. When the system is reorganized, parts can change rapidly. And I've read a lot. Does somebody want to pick up?
Yeah.
Ed?
I guess that's me.
That's you.
Transformation. Changes in the internal system will affect changes in the external system and vice versa. The implication of...
Hold on here. Up here.
Okay. The implication of this assumption is that both internal and external levels of the system should be addressed. At the heart of each part is the self of the part, no matter how extreme its role or distorted its beliefs. All parts have self at the center. They carry the burden of the role they've taken on. The burdens of parts include beliefs, feelings, ideas, behavior, and stories about you, about others, about the world. We don't get rid of any part. We get rid of its burdens so that it can return to its preferred role.
Goals of the work: to facilitate the relationship between the self and the parts, to achieve balance and harmony in the system. The self leads the system and the parts are in their preferred wholesome roles, to help parts release their burdens so that they can find their preferred healthy roles in the system, to differentiate and release self. When self is in the lead, it respects input from the parts, who in turn respects self to effectively lead the system, to allow self energy to express itself unhindered in the external world.
Peg, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
The list of principles of IFS and the goals of the work, is that from Richard Schwartz's materials, or is that all you?
It's from training materials. I'm not really sure how to, that part of it.
Training materials that he produced or that you produced?
It's a combination of what he was teaching and the notes that I made.
Okay. Okay.
Do you want to capitalize work? Because the other headings are more like,
Capitalize work where?
Goals of the work.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I'm also wondering with these, before people race to a judgment that what or a question, what does this have to do with Zen? If you'd want to start with some kind of description of,
Why don't you read on?
I know you have it, but I've already formed an opinion. I'm just thinking to myself as a reader. You know what I?
Yeah, I this has sort of been my model for these sections. I first try to explain and summarize the model.
Yeah.
Then I talk about how did we use this? How is this useful in Zen? Um, that's that's the
So
format. That's the
okay,
format I want for it. Yeah.
okay. IFS and Zen practice. Originally, when he suggested this training, I argued with Flint that working with internal family systems would be harmful for Zen practitioners because it holds that we have parts inside us, like subpersonalities with their own beliefs, worries, and agendas. I believe that Zen students should not be engaging with parts of their mind, believing them to be real, and creating more distraction and confusion in their practice. I thought people would end up playing in playing.
Right here.
I know where we are. I'm just wondering if the quote should start before in playing in the dollhouse in their head. Do you know what I mean? Playing,
Uh-huh.
moving the quote
Yeah.
to before in. It seems like it would read better.
No, it's the dollhouse in their head is the object,
Okay.
right?
I thought people would end up playing in the dollhouse. I see what you mean, in their head, rather than recognizing the emptiness of these bits of conditioning. And in any event, I thought it was a mistake to think of these as parts, like something solid, rather than flows of energy moving through the system. I should say I argued it at Flint, since he simply listened and then gave his non-committal response. Oh, I have since come to recognize this as his typical response. Uh, wait,
Over here.
when someone has asserted an opinion that he has strongly held, passionately argued, and wrong, I was firm in my conviction for at least 2 years, and then we have a space,
Yeah, it's
until I had an experience that made the whole concept vividly real. IFS, it turns out, is a particularly useful complement to Zen practice. It provides a wholesome, inclusive, curious, and caring perspective on difficulties and distress in our practice and our lives. It helps us kindly resolve inner conflicts and reactivity that creates suffering for ourselves and others, and for others. This perspective carries over into our relationships, our work, and our sense of belonging in the world.
In Zazen, we rest in a vast open space that invites parts within and encourages them to reveal themselves. They are generally eager to be known and appreciated. The open awareness and acceptance of boundless Buddha heart and mind are intoxicating and healing to them.
sometimes it is hard to see their delightful qualities, wonder, curiosity, play, creativity, for example, because of the burdens they carry, like rage, sadness, loneliness, or woundedness. Burdens they assumed years ago to protect the system, you. They have developed strategies for coping with suffering or potential suffering. But because these parts were formed so many years ago in early childhood, their strategies are forged from a child's understanding, horizon of experience, observations, experiments, and experience. They are cobbled together in desperation and grief.
At the moment, at the moment these parts were born, something the child needed, reassurance, explanation, connection, a sense of safety, even just being seen, was missing. This is universal. No parent can magically intuit and provide exactly what every child needs in every moment. That would, in any event, lead to a fragile child unable to function in the world. Our resilience depends on our resourcefulness in meeting changing circumstances and difficulties in a world that isn't particularly interested in what we want or need.
On our spiritual path, the strategies of our child-created parts are seen as limiting, often unskillful and frequently untimely. They sometimes still work, but they also often fail, creating suffering for ourselves and for others. But the solution is not to get rid of or, wait for it, or fix the parts. Such notions have sent many of them into exile in the first place, guarded by other parts serving as protectors or managers.
The role of the protectors or managers is twofold: to protect the vulnerable parts, or the dangerous ones, and to try to manage the world, including other people and you, so that the exiled parts are not triggered. Because when triggered parts take over, there is a terrible danger in the view of the protectors. Molten rage destroys relationships. Grief or sadness overwhelms the whole system. Loneliness threatens to engulf us with depression. Anxiety breeds paralyzing terror, to name a few. The dangers are real.
So the protectors have their own strategies. Unfortunately, they don't always work. Be cheerful, work hard, don't ask for anything, be helpful, have a temper tantrum, be, be critical, be funny, blame someone else, and so on. These strategies, generally supported by our cultures and therefore by our families, are developed and field tested by a child desperate to find ones that work, because she is dependent for her very survival on the approval and care of the people around her. A baby's smile is the very first strategy to be tested, and over millennia, it has proven to be a resounding success.
Sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
Um, I
If we
got
were
lost.
adults, right here, if we were adults.
Oh, thank you. Okay. Apparently my screen doesn't move like y'all's does it, so I'm always behind.
Oh,
Okay.
um,
Oops, let me
right
find.
here.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah, yeah.
If we are adults, the strategies we adopt in childhood, especially those of the manager parts, work reasonably well at least some of the time, or we would not have survived. But as I mentioned, these strategies are the best guess of immature beings and little life experience or wisdom and very limited horizons. When these parts take over, it's like the 3-year-olds are driving the bus. They can't see over the steering wheel, can't read the road signs, are clueless about traffic laws, and are often bickering among themselves about who gets to drive. Inevitably, there are accidents, but 3-year-olds don't learn from the accidents. They are likely to crash again and again. I love that example.
We're right here. This drives the managers crazy. That's why most managers love meditation. The bus is parked and everyone is safe. There's nothing that needs to be done, no one to please, and of course, that is exactly when the kids go wild. They spill out of the bus and into your peaceful meditation with their noise and chaos and excessive demands. But there they encounter something different: the big self of boundless Buddha nature and the warmth and acceptance of grandmother mind. Meditation is a great unburdening of these children within, a playground free of all that has contained, restricted, worried, or scared them. They are, each one, fully seen and cherished, gently relieved of their burdens. It's a liberation project. Of course, our fear, anger, sadness, and other emotions have their appropriate time and function, but they are no longer permanent burdens.
I really like the notion of grandmother mind.
Yeah.
I
Working with IFS in a Zen context does not have to be complicated or prolonged. I'll leave you with another personal example. One evening, as I was in Zazen in the Zendo alone, just peacefully sitting, I felt a bit of annoyance or irritation. That's odd, I thought. There's nobody here, nothing to annoy or irritate me. I got curious about that. Almost immediately, I felt arising a molten anger, and there appeared right there in the Zendo an enormous dragon flying around in a fury. It was powerful and vivid. I felt I felt it as a murderous rage and suspected it was a part. What do you want? I asked. Don't try to get rid of me and don't try to control me, it snarled. I want to kill things. I was alarmed. You want to shoot animals? I asked. No, I want to beat people with a baseball bat until their brains are bashed and the blood splatters all over these white walls. I want to feel their bones crunching. I was shocked by this murderous fury.
What do you want? I asked again. It roared, Don't start. You can't give me anything. Don't even bother trying to change me. It was truly furious, flying around the Zendo with fire in its eyes. There's nothing to do but stay with it, I thought. And so I just sat as it roared around the room, raging for a good 20 minutes or so. And then it collapsed in my lap. A little girl sobbing great wrenching, heartbroken sobs and repeating over and over again, never going to be good enough, never going to be good enough. I held that wretched, profound grief weeping under all that rage, and after a while I looked up and said, I don't know. We live in this comfortable house. We have a job. We love teaching at the university. We have good friends and a lovely family. And every morning kind people come and sit together with us in Zazen. Maybe that's good enough. The girl sat up a bit and looked around, still sniffling. But I could see she was taking everything in with a kind of wonder. Maybe we are good enough, I offered.
I'm not a
I'm
therapist.
wondering if there should be a comma after job we love. We have a job we love, comma, teaching at the university.
That,
Ah,
that read kind of awkwardly. Thanks,
yeah,
Kim.
yeah, that's right. Okay. Who was that?
Is it Jason?
Yes.
Oh, so it's right down here.
Yep. I am not a therapist, and training in Hakomi and later internal family systems was discouraging at first. I was surrounded by therapists who seemed vastly more skillful, more experienced, more attuned, and more empathic, than I felt. I felt awkward and clueless, like a fish in a tree. It was baffling to see what subtle nuances of facial expression, body language, and speech the other students readily observed. But my inexperience was an unexpected asset because I had no previous training to unlearn in these unconventional approaches. And I had some capacities in Zen practice that served me well and sometimes surprised the trainers: patience, openness, and friendly curiosity, equanimity, willingness to be in the stillness and silence without trying to quote unquote make something happen, with no agenda, no need to fix anyone or anything. I was less interested in pain relief than liberation. I could be quiet and allow space for reflection and time for processing what was arising. Yet I continued to be warmly connected and engaged.
Meanwhile, training was giving me new perspectives on the mind and sources of suffering, new tools, new approaches, and actual practice with guidance in using them. In this way, they gradually became embodied and intuitive. The experiential mode of teaching was extremely effective and became a hallmark, not only of teaching and learning at Appamada, but in my academic teaching and consulting as well. We highly recommend training in Hakomi, right use of power, and internal family system for anyone drawn to the teaching path in Zen. We also encourage sharing these methods and practices with the Sangha in support of Zen practice and mutual care in community. They are powerful forces for community development. Richard Schwartz, founder and author, Introduction to Internal Family Systems. Learn more about internal family system training, find resources, or find an internal family system therapist here. And I think other places you aren't doing the HTTPS.
Oh, that's right. Let me take this out here. Yes. This is editing on the fly, right? Yeah. Okay. All right. Let me move up here. I think that's maybe Melissa.
It is, but I can't see it yet.
It's right. Right. Can you see where the cursor is now?
Now I can. Now I can. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't get those top parts for some reason until you move it a different way. It's very weird.
Uh-huh.
Social dynamics. People
Spiral.
think in different. I'm sorry. Spiral. Oh, yeah. Does say spiral. Sorry.
That's okay.
Who knows? Spiral dynamics. People think in different ways. A brother and sister, husband and wife, manager and employee, corporation and client company might have very different worldviews and values. People in adjoining cubicles or families living right next door to each other sometimes don't seem to be inhabiting the same neighborhood. Colleagues in certain organizations have wide-ranging ideas about vision, mission, and purpose. Countries sharing one planet often seem to be in totally different worlds with their policies. Why?
Spiral dynamics is a way of thinking about these complexities of human existence and bringing some order and predictability to the apparent chaos of human affairs. It provides a framework for tracking the evolution of worldviews and a scaffold on which to stand while analyzing situations and planning the most appropriate actions. Based on the original research and theory of Dr. Clare W. Graves, 1914 to 1986, this point of view describes how waves of consciousness emerge and flow through individuals and groups. It describes biopsychosocial systems along a continuum that form an expanding spiral of evolution.
So, Peg, the next paragraph is a repeat of that paragraph.
Oh, that's true.
We can delete that.
Okay, this will shorten things.
It is a good paragraph.
Yeah, well, yes, but it doesn't need to be.
But once is enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. A perplexing question. Clare Graves had a problem. He was a professor of psychology at Union College in New York, teaching large lecture courses, including a survey of theories of human psychology. His students wanted to know which theory was the best. Although Graves could see some truth in each of them, he could also see their limitations and gaps. And he was curious himself about whether there was a single definition of a psychologically healthy adult, or many. He designed a research project of astonishing breadth and depth involving thousands of subjects over a course of 3 decades. It was radically open. Much of it unfolded in the context of his courses on human psychology and abnormal psychology.
I got lost here. My pages aren't moving.
Okay, it's right here. It's an ambitious plan.
I can't find that. I don't see that showing. Oh,
She-
okay,
she-
got it.
Got
I
it?
got it. Yep.
Okay.
Sure, that was weird.
That's what's happening to me all the time. I have no idea what's
So
going on.
strange.
Okay, well, I'm blaming it on you, Melissa.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take it. Why not?
That's my not right use of power.
There you go.
An ambitious plan. Here was his method. He asked his students at the beginning of the semester not to read any of the course texts, but rather to write a short paper in which they set out their, it says set our, I should say set out
Yeah.
their own definition of a psychologically healthy adult. 2, he collected the papers and made copies, then returned them. 3, he put students into small groups with the instruction to do their best to tear apart their peers' definitions. Students were then to reflect on whether they wanted to revise their definition or not, and turn in their papers again. Graves made copies. 4, he then had students study the course text and meet individually with him to discuss their papers. They had a final opportunity then to revise their papers and turn them in. At this point, he had 3 copies of each student's papers for several hundred students in each class. So he collected perhaps 600 papers per class, 2 classes per semester, and he continued this research for decades.
Do you see that 2 needs a period?
Yeah,
Okay.
I put it in.
A baffling mystery. But gathering data is easy. Analysis is hard. Graves hired 9 teachers, outside readers, each one of them to read through all of the essays. His instructions were simple. If they found similarities among the essays, they should put them into groups, however many groups made sense to them. Now each reader had sorted hundreds of essays into groups, and he brought them together to see whether there was any agreement among them about the groups. He was astounded by the degree of agreement amongst the 9 readers. The groups seemed robust, but what did they mean? And furthermore, what was it about these essays that made them so distinctively part of a group? Graves spent 10 years puzzling over this data. At last, he began to study not the essays themselves, but the revisions. How had
Oops.
students' thinking changed from one version to the next? Were they influenced by their peers' criticisms, by the theories in the textbooks they were reading, or by Graves' critical eye? Graves couldn't tell, but he did discover that there was a directionality to the changes. Let's say the groups were A, B, C, D, and E. He realized that when a student revised an essay so that it moved to another group, it was a linear change, from A to B, but never from B to A.
Hey, Peg, can we put an apostrophe after Graves before critical eye?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, hold on. Where I am here. Yeah. Okay, I found it. It's changed a little bit where it's located. Okay.
The crucial insight, and that was how he cracked the code. There was a developmental shift that might transform a student's belief from one group to another. He began to look more closely at the essays within a group, looking for the similarities. He realized that the significant similarities were not in the values the students expressed in their definitions, but the particular framework for how those values were organized. These frameworks shaped a whole worldview. Meanwhile, he read widely in anthropology, history, and archaeology. From this vast data and its analysis, Graves developed a stage model of human development, which he called a model of biopsychosocial evolution. He did further research on these stages or levels, including batteries of psychological tests and ingenious experiments in group dynamics with his students. It's extremely unlikely that research of this scale, scope, and time span would ever be accomplished by one person today.
An evolutionary model. Through his research, Graves developed a model of evolutionary stages that he described not as descriptions or categories of people or groups, but as a framework for representing.
Right here.
But as a framework, I lost it.
Right here. You see?
Oh, here we're down because we're down here.
Yeah. Representing the value.
But as a framework, as a framework for representing the values and worldviews they hold. There are ways of thinking, not types of people. Graves came to understand that our evolutionary development individually and socially takes the form of a double helix. This spiral includes two strands: the existential life conditions we face and our inner potential, including our physical, psychological, and social capacities. Development unfolds in stages characterized not by not by our values, but by specific ways we organize our values, and therefore our thoughts, words, and actions.
Representing the model. Hold on here. Representing the model. Graves assigned letters to each external and internal level. Sometimes a person's value frameworks are out of sync with the external life conditions. The letters could represent differences between internal capacities and external conditions. This turns out to be significant. Later, colors were associated with each level, which simplified the model at the cost of masking when there was a mismatch between internal capacities and external conditions. See the map on the facing pages.
Do you want to capitalize the S in C or
Yeah.
delete? Okay.
Yeah.
Or delete the period and put the period after the end quotation or the end parenthesis.
No, it'll be inside the parentheses.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So you don't have a period. Is this what you just said after facing pages?
Yes. Yeah.
But it's not really facing pages.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah. I think. See the map on the pages above. Okay.
Okay.
Good.
A grounded theory. The application of Graves' profound theory for individual and collective spiritual evolution is discussed in Chapter 12. We need both his double helix model and the model of the changed process which Graves developed in his analysis of the data. They provide a way of understanding our differences with appreciation rather than anger or exasperation or at best tolerance. Graves's model has been popular in management circles, and in fact, an early book, Spiral Dynamics, was published for that audience. The model has been copied and in some cases appropriated and recast, sometimes in ways that are not grounded research or data.
Sadly.
Grounded research or data or grounded in research or data?
Grounded in.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect.
It's easy to create theories from one's opinions, but Graves was scrupulous about his claims because he had seen Abraham Maslow savagely criticized by his peers at a conference for lacking data to support his model of a human hierarchy of needs. The full story of Graves and his model are best and most faithfully captured in the book, The Never-Ending Quest, begun by Claire Graves and completed from his archives by Chris Cowan and Natasha Todorovic following Graves' heart attack.
Do we want to put The Never-Ending Quest in italics?
Italics, yeah. Yeah, and I moved that down. Okay, we're a little after 8 o'clock. I don't know where folks are. Or you want to stop there and take up the next week, take up the rest of it, or what's your pleasure?
I vote we stop here.
Okay.
Oops. I don't know other people, but
The next one is appreciative inquiry. It's also pretty extensive, so we might want to stop here.
yeah.
Yeah, start fresh with a new one.
Yeah.
And I'm going to drop out right now. I'm nursing a headache which needs some attention.
Oh, Ed, I'm so sorry.
So sorry.
I have to
That's
leave
okay.
you. Thank you.
They are better. That's the good news.
Thank you for joining us tonight. It was great to see you.
Thank you. Good to see we're still here. We'll do it again next week.
Oh yeah, we're on the final lap here.
I'm gonna go ahead, Ed. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say I used to run track, but okay.
I'm going to bow out right now too.
Okay, see you later,
I will
Alice.
I will be out of town next week, but I should be back the following week.
Cool.
All right. See y'all.
Enjoy your cruise if I don't get to talk to you before then.
Thank you.
Where are you going to?
My mom and sister and I are taking a mother-daughter's trip to the Bahamas, Dominican Republic, and Turks and Caicos.
Oh, neat.
We've never done something like this before, so it'll be fun.
Really.
That's
Good
wonderful.
luck. Have fun.
Thank you. Y'all have a good week.
Yeah,
You
take
too.
care. Thanks for the editing, Alice.
You bet.
Alice
Let's
is
go
our
a
book
quick.
editor.
Ah,
Yeah,
such a good one.
yeah,
Yeah.
she's good.
Kim, can I ask you a quick question? And then I'm probably gonna have to go too. Do we know what we're doing when this book is finished? Do we know the
Yes,
next one?
yes, we do. Uh,
I
it's
knew it. He's so efficient.
Viva La Curti and the Awakened Heart by Joan Sutherland.
Okay.
It's a
Okay, great.
short.
However, yeah, it's short, but it will probably take us a few years.
A decade to get through it. Yeah. Viva la Carte has
No.
that effect on people.
Yeah.
Thank
So,
you.
so Jason, how do you come to us? How did you even find what we're doing here?
I signed up for the email group a long time ago, and I never attended any meetings. I just kept getting the emails. And then this afternoon, I was like, you know what? I've got time. Why don't I, let's see if they have an event going on. And I was like, okay, yeah, they do. And so I thought I'd stop in and see what was up.
Great. And do you live in Austin?
I do, yeah. I used to live. I think you guys are by like St. David's and 38th
Yeah,
Street sort of
38th
area.
Street. Yeah.
I used to live at Markup Town, which is an apartment complex kind of just across the way there. Yeah, no, I do live in Austin.
Ah,
Well, it's great to have you.
Well,
Yeah, thank you
yeah.
guys so much. This was a lot of fun.
well, it's kind of funny. On this is the tail end of a book that I'm writing, and
Oh, wow.
it's coming. Like we're coming to the end of that of
Mhm.
reading it. But the readers have been so incredibly helpful with finding things that need to be fixed and with giving their feedback about how it seems. So you write a book, it's like it's everything that's in your head, but you have no idea of what anybody else will think about it.
Oh,
So
I'm sure it's mortifying for you to have to, have so many people look at it and,
I love it. I love it
yeah.
because
He's
it
exactly-
really has helped me. It's really helped shape the book in a good way. So yeah, no, I love it. I don't trust my own opinion about anything, anything that I make. So it's really helpful to hear feedback from readers.
Well, I'm excited for you.
And
I mean, that's
it's a
terrific.
lot of fun.
Yeah.
The other thing to know is that normally we are not so concerned with commas and periods.
Yes.
Okay.
That's
Normally,
not
yeah,
usually a big part of the discussion, but
No?
that's what they're helping me with. But normally we just read the book.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind. That's
I'm
good.
not going. Don't you think there should be a space there?
Yeah.
Not doing
we
that.
capitalize that.
And the Vimala Kirti book is so poetic and so beautiful. I think you would really enjoy it.
Yes.
Sutherland, she's great. So, yeah. Well,
I'm gonna head out.
you're
Thank
heading
you all.
out. Yeah. Maybe we should close up shop. Kim, what do you think?
I think so.
Okay. Come back again, Jason, and
Yeah,
Please,
come
Jason,
present
come
and sit
back.
with us.
of
Yeah.
course. It was great to meet you guys, and I hope you guys have a good afternoon. Or
Thank you.
night, I guess now is what it is.
Yeah.
Night, kinda
Take care.
underneath the snow. Bye.
Yeah,
Bye.
under the snow.